Hey y'all, welcome and welcome back to my channel. It's me, KiaSimone, and I caught up on the last 10, 11 episodes of Real Housewives of Potomac. Now, I haven't watched the finale yet. I'll probably watch it after I finish this rant, but that's what I came here for, to get some shit off my chest because I am so disgusted with Potomac. Like, they could have kept this bullshit. Half of the last 9, 10 episodes were just some hair. Y'all want something to watch? Hair. But let's just get into it. Before we do, please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I am going to shout out my super thanksters, but I'm going to probably do that later because I got to look all y'all up and this is on my mind and on my nerves. Let me just get it off. First of all, I realize I don't like no damn body on this show. No damn body. I don't like y'all. And I mean everybody from cast to production. Everybody works my nerves in some way or another. The cast irritates me because nobody on this cast has a real story, a real talent, a real attractive personality, an attractive quality, anything that you want to explore or experiment. There's just nothing interesting about these people. And it's not just a Potomac issue. For me, it's an issue that permeates the genre of reality TV. And I think what a part of the root cause is a lot of the talent that we see in reality TV are people who have more of a desire to be famous than a talent to display. Seeing how they fight about guest lists and how they finance their extravagance was interesting when it was an actual authentic look into their lives. The Housewives shows have become these lazy productions of dinner, designer, and dysfunction, and don't nobody give a damn. And if that weren't bad enough by itself, we're now in a time where the veil is lifting and people are seeing Hollywood for what it is and ain't buying into a whole bunch of bedazzled bullshit no more. Which is essentially what this show has become, a bunch of bedazzled bullshit. Because when I tell you these were episodes of emptiness, it's not even fun. These people had a whole episode, damn near, of them painting for Karen's 60th birthday. If y'all don't get from around me, I mean, it's just a bunch of kindergarten antics. I don't know who the hell is collecting a check to produce this bullshit, but they are getting away with grand larceny. The main problem, especially with Potomac, is this is not a group of friends. This ain't even a group of associates who are in the same social circle. This is a group of girls who do not like each other and do not get along, and their only common interest is they want to be famous and they want to be on a TV show together, and so they get on camera and we watch them fight about it. Hence, us having a whole season of 2 Nigerian women fighting about who was putting who on an altar because they wanted to come on the show, and you need to honor your Nigerian sister when you come on the show because everybody trying to be famous. If y'all don't sit the down. Now, I'm not going to go in any specific order because I'm telling you, I'm not reviewing all them episodes. They need their ass whooped for producing that bullshit and putting it on TV. But the Candiace and Robin beef, let's just talk about this Candiace and Robin beef. Here's my thing. I'm no fan of Robin. We all know that, yes, Robin hid her life from this show. Robin is absolutely full of and Robin's a damn fool to be believing or repeating any of the bullshit that Juan has told her. Secondly, I understand all of her castmates being absolutely pissed off with her. I totally get that. But Candiace did what Candiace does. Candiace decided she was going to take to the internet to let all of her feelings be known rather than going to Robin. She's on the internet carrying on about Robin needs to be held accountable and Robin needs to be removed from the show. And that's all well and good. That's totally fine. She has every right to feel that way and she has every right to express that she feels that way. The problem comes in when Candiace expects that she should be able to drag people to her satisfaction, and then once she's satisfied with the dragging, she should be able to go back to them and smile in their face and say, we need to talk about our friendship. No, stand on the shit you did and said. Stand on exactly how you felt to the internet. Because if you were as concerned about the friendship as you claim to be on the back end, what you would have done on the front end is you would have gone to your friend and have a conversation face to face. But the reason Candiace does the bullshit she does is because she gets validation from dragging people on the internet. It makes her feel good. And once she has been fully validated by the internet, she wants to come to the people who she used to get that validation on the internet with that tired ass folded napkin bullshit about, I want to talk about our friendship. Girl, go to hell. Part of the problem is that I don't think Candiace is mature enough to approach friendships from that perspective because Candiace is immature in general, and it literally grinds my gears because watching Candiace on TV is like watching a teenager playing house. It works my motherfucking nerves. To me, she comes off as being emotionally stuck at 16. I mean, the way she approaches her relationships, her friendships, conflict, her life, everything about her screams, I'm forever 16. And the other problem is banter and bicker are her love languages. And it probably roots back to her relationship with her mama, but that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. And while we on Candiace, let's mention that Candiace is also a social disaster. Candiace done about pissed me off on this internet this week talking stupid shit about, I have a fear of having light-skinned children as she's married to a white man who has light children. Get the fuck out my face. Candiace has always been hard to like for me. And the only time I was able to sincerely rally for Candiace is when Monique whooped her ass, because Monique was wrong. Monique was dead ass wrong, and she got her ass around to this internet selling a story and spinning a narrative that was quickly negated by the footage. She was a damn lie. So yeah, I had her back with that. You didn't deserve that. That girl was wrong for putting her hands on you and all that shit. But the shit that Candiace says on the internet does not help her likability factor. Your likability is already down somewhere around 5%. And every time it starts to go up, here you come with the self-sabotage stupid shit. I mean, Candiace is just ignorant as fuck. You sat your ass on the internet about you scared of having light-skinned children, married to a white man, after you sat up on that reunion, screaming and carrying on at Ashley and Giselle about their white-looking asses, knowing you will probably have children that look just like them. For her to sit up on the internet and say some stupid like, I fear having light-skinned children, is a function of the same colorism that she claims to be so oppressed and affected by in this group of ladies. She is the one with the hyperfixation on color. But I want brown babies, but you made sure to marry a white man. And the thing is, if Giselle or Ashley, if any light-skinned woman on that cast sat on the internet, on TV, in their kitchen and said some shit like, I'm terrified of having dark babies. I don't want any darkies. We would never hear the end of that shit. People on this internet about, what? She knows she's not going to get brown babies. What kind of stupid shit is that for her to say? And Candiace strikes me as the type of person whose issues are so deeply rooted that if she did produce a light-skinned child, heaven forbid a light-skinned daughter, she is going to make that child's life a living hell. And that's what I think she fears. She don't fear having a light-skinned child. You married a white man. You knew what you were doing. She fears what having a light-skinned child would bring out of her. Most people are praying for a healthy baby. This bitch around here worried about a paper bag content. Girl, get the f from around me. And I'm going to come up off Candiace for a minute because now I'm on Ashley. Ashley is my next target. See, Ashley is a whole lot of the same bullshit. She up here trying to cosplay a messy, mature-aged woman with money when in truth, she is Rumpelstiltskin's prisoner. And watching her and Michael try to hide whatever it is that they're hiding is getting boring and redundant. Miss us with the bullshit. All Ashley brings to the table on this show at this point is a willingness to start and stir shit. Even when she's up there dancing and whatever it is she be doing on the internet, it gives WB Frog. It's not entertaining. Go sit down. The only time we get an authentic look into Ashley's life is when she letting us know her mama ain't shit or Michael is dragging her. When Michael decides he's gonna play along with her bullshit for this show, we don't hear nothing. Everything is mum's the word and I can't talk about it and I can't talk about that either. You can tell her and Michael in cahoots when she start hiding her business and getting in everybody else. Robin and Juan is the same thing. I'm tired of them. Robin can't even have a decent conversation with Juan. She called the man, hey, how you doing? He about cursing her out from the gate. This lady can't even call her husband crying from another country on vacation with a bunch of bitches that don't like her without him going the off. It gives, I don't like you, I'm just stuck with you. And it's never entertaining to watch people in unhappy or even abusive relationships. The way that Juan talks to Robin triggers my own damn PTSD. I'd be ready to curse that motherfucker out because who you talking to? He's abrasive, irritable, disrespectful. He doesn't even extend basic kindness or friendliness to this woman. Don't nobody want to watch that. And Robin just taking it to have somebody and trying to tell us a whole different story from the bullshit we see. Girl, play with somebody else. And I'm starting to realize that part of the reason that they just want to play dress up and go to dinner and think that we should play along and pretend that they don't have these philandering disasters for husbands is because this shit is normal to them. They think This is normal. It's normal to them to not be treated well for the sake of saying you have a Mr. or a paymaster. It's normal to them to throw in somebody's face that you got a husband as long as you don't have to divulge who your husband truly is. It's normal to throw in people's faces that you married. I have a marriage in my institution, but you won't divulge that your institution is your primary source of misery. But I mean, I guess the means is worth the end if the bad marriage lands you on a TV show. And then that brings me around to Giselle. Now, the thing about Giselle is actually palatable when she's being a mom. When she's doing her mom thing with her daughters, she comes off like a normal, likable person. The funny thing is, the only real emotions, the only real reactions I had in the last 10 episodes that I watched were the moments surrounding her daughter graduating and her father being sick. They were actual real life moments where it felt like we saw an authentic Giselle who was minding her business and living her life, and it was interesting enough without her having her hand in everybody else's shit. Because that's essentially what this has become, especially for Giselle. It's a variety show of how to start shit. The new Grand Dame of Potomac was corny. The whole brand of starting rumors and stirring up drama is old and messy, and it makes her look old and messy. It's almost like she's a different person around these women, and she trades in whoever the authentic, vulnerable version of her is to be a damn bone carrier. What Giselle's brand should have been is what Charisse originally was to this group. Giselle is supposed to be the nucleus of the group. She could have been the host with the most that brings the ladies together to have fun and do charity and build organizations, you know, kind of like being a first lady without the pimpin' pastor. But instead, she decided to be the center of the rumor mill and an icon of messiness. And speaking of bullshit, that G&A clothing line that Giselle and Ashley are starting is giving every bit of every hue beauty. They are grasping at straws, trying to capitalize on their time on TV, but don't know what they're really doing. Did y'all see that shit? They put on a fashion show to show that bullshit off. When I tell you that was an ill-fitted, poorly executed, cheap fabric mess, but it's everything I would expect of a fashion brand for Giselle and Ashley. Giselle and Ashley are the last two people anybody needs fashion from. Y'all need help your damn selves. My thing is, why not collaborate? Well, I was going to say my thing is, why not collaborate with your stylist or somebody who actually knows what they're doing? But I mean, from the looks of things, y'all ain't had one. Giselle's fashions have improved this season, but not enough to be selling us them damn trash bags for outfits. That brings me around to Wendy. Now, let me tell you, when Wendy first came on this show, I used to go up for Wendy. I used to be on Facebook in the reality show groups. I mean, windmilling my ass off by Wendy, because why she always got to mention she got 4 degrees, and I'm in them, y'all just hating on that black woman because she educated. Let her flaunt her education. Can't nobody else on the show say they got all them degrees. That's why y'all be hating. Now, oh, it's a different story. Me and that Wendy, oh, we don't see eye to eye no more. I wasn't bothered by Wendy when she came on the show throwing her 4 degrees around. I was like, well, I mean, she got 4 degrees. She just letting y'all know. But then the second season that she was on the show came around. And after Wendy got her body done, I noticed we didn't hear shit else about those 4 degrees. Everything all of a sudden became about her body, these wild ass fashions she was wearing, and everybody was jealous of her. I said, hold on, wait a minute. Now, there's nothing wrong with her choosing to get her body done and embracing a sexy aesthetic, but my problem becomes when there's a whole personality swap. Like, the issue wasn't that Wendy got her body done. The issue wasn't that Wendy started dressing more sexy. The issue was when people noticed it, Wendy wanted to argue everybody down and say, I'm not dressing sexy. Nothing changed about me. Are you nuts? Everything changed. She wanted to pretend that she didn't go from being this conservative commentator to this thongs up her TV star. And what triggered it for me is when she sat at that Raggedy fashion show and she was talking about one of the outfits that they had come down that runway, which I wouldn't even let them trigger me, because what is this bullshit? But when the lady came down the runway and she had on this high-waist thong with these low-cut pants. Wendy said it was a problem when I wore it. It was a problem. No, it wasn't a problem. It was an observation when you wore it, and you wanted everybody to play stupid and pretend that, oh, there's nothing super sexy about you. You weren't completely covered up talking about how you're a doctor with 4 degrees and you turned into a Fashion Nova mascot. We're not going to play along like we don't see that. I would have respected it more if Wendy said, yeah, I got my body done and I got it done to be sexy. I'm going to wear the sexiest I can find, and I'm going to wear this shit. I can't wear it no more. I paid good money to wear this. I would respect that. I mean, I'd be 10 toes down. Where is her Fashion Nova brand partnership? But I cannot respect you doing this complete 180 and then wanting to fight with anybody who notices. You changed everything about how you look, how you present yourself to the public, and you want us to play like you're still Wendy that was on CNN. You got a thong up your ass and we can see it. And maybe it goes with the territory. You get a new body, you get a new face, you get a new attitude. And 2, the number of times they have caught Wendy denying that she said or did something that they got her on camera saying or doing, I cannot get behind the bullshit. And she really pissed me off last season when they did all that. They're colorists and they're treating us bad because our complexion is different, only for her to cock her damn legs up and show Mia all her inside parts. That's the point at which I stopped taking Wendy serious. Now that brings me to Nneka. I want Nneka off my TV so damn bad, it's not even funny. She has the most nagging, annoying, whiny personality. She is the quintessential, I'm here because I think I should be famous, but I bring nothing personality. Now, I'm very happy for her success, both personally and professionally, but successful people are not always entertaining people. And just because you've achieved certain things or you're successful in your personal and professional life, it does not mean we need to see you on TV. Enjoy your success somewhere in private. Nobody wants to watch you argue, whine, and try to break into a friend group. Just leave us alone. And that brings me to my next issue. This is no longer an organic friend group. This is a group of women fighting over positions on a TV show. It may have started off as real friends, but it has become a group of women who have been hired to perform as friends. That's exactly why this has become a game of, is this a good casting match, rather than a game of documenting unadulterated friendships. Now, speaking of bad casting matches, that brings me to Mia. Mia is a walking, talking, breathing lie. I don't believe 90% of the shit that comes out of Mia's mouth, from the age difference between she and Gordon to whatever inheritance she suddenly had when she met him. Girl, sit your ass down. That's a lie she pulled out of thin air to disarm the whole argument of you only married him for money, and now that he doesn't have any more, that's why you divorcing him. Now, this in no way means I feel bad for Gordon. Gordon is even lower than Mia is to me. And in my mind, he deserves for Mia to do to him exactly what he used Mia to do to his ex-wife. Karma has a way of coming back around with a force you couldn't even be prepared for. Thoughts and shares. In general, everything about Mia screams gutter. But as long as Mia is presenting a certain aesthetic, that whole gutter essence is overlooked. Now, speaking of bad marriages for convenience, that brings me around to Karen. Now, Karen, just Lord help, Karen is living a life of delusion, denial, and apparently drunkenness. Karen is clearly not happy, but she tells us whatever she wants us to believe, whether it makes sense or not. And at this point in the game, Ray is too old to embarrass her with his philandering or his lack of love. And even if he does, he's old enough to say his ex is senile. So she uses that to just present us whatever narrative about her institution of a marriage that she wants us to believe. See, and the problem with that is regardless of what you get the public to believe, you still have to live in your truth. And apparently living in her truth has been sending her to drown her sorrows in alcohol. Now, I don't know if Karen was driving drunk. I don't know what happened. All I know is Karen got into a bad car accident over this last week or so. She totaled her luxury vehicle, and I think they said she got a bunch of citations. I don't know. Now, I went and read nobody's citations. I got my own damn problems. I got my own bills I'm trying to figure out how to pay. So I ain't reading nobody's bills and issues but my own, but I'm just telling y'all what I heard. Now, the speculation was that Karen was drinking and driving, and Karen came out with her own story. Karen said it ain't that she's living a miserable life. Karen said what had happened was because Mother's Day is coming up in about 2-3 months. She was triggered and she was missing her mom, and she was at the bar with her girlfriend, and they had a couple drinks, but she wasn't drunk, but she was driving home, and she was thinking about how sad she was about Mother's Day coming up, and she started crying, and she couldn't see nothing, and next thing she saw was a car coming at her head on, and so she swerved to avoid that car and hit a tree and totaled her car, but we thank God she's alive. Now, listen here. I ain't saying the lady's alive, because I'm going to tell you, grief is the only motherfucker that don't care about an invitation to your house. That motherfucker will show up unannounced and kick your door in. So I ain't saying that she's lying. I ain't saying she full of shit. I ain't saying that, but now God knows, Lord, I don't want to know, because I don't want to judge and be judged by the same measure. I don't want to have to go through that in order to understand. So please keep me off that list for a long time. Thank you very much. But I'm just saying, y'all was at the bar in the middle of March, and you just had a Mother's Day meltdown. Now, listen, I guess it's possible. My grandmama been dead damn near 22 years, and I still, God, where's that Miss fucking grandmama? But I do think the couple of drinks she might have had something to do with it. Now, what I am gonna say is this, okay? All right. Now, we supposed to be talking about affluent people. We're supposed to be talking about people of means, okay? When you have means, you should be able to call a driver, a Uber, or something. You don't get in the car drunk, crying, and carrying on, but I would drive myself home. Now, everybody on this show claim to be rich and living in the lap of luxury. You mean to tell me couldn't nobody call a yellow cab? Ain't that cheaper than damn near killing yourself and somebody else? I mean, ain't that cheaper than totaling a car? For future reference, the rich lady grand dame thing to do would be to call a driver to take your publicly intoxicated ass home. If that's what happened. I don't know that that's what happened. I'm just saying DUI and diva don't go together. Now, speaking of rich lady behavior, that brings me around to the new lady on the show. I think her name is Kiana. I actually like her. So I guess I take that back. I don't like no damn body on this show. I actually like the new girl. She comes off like a girl from around the way who's smart, successful, beautiful. She's a girl's girl. She likes to have a good time, but she will check that if necessary. And apparently sis is about that life. She out here handing out checks, and they ain't Trump checks, they're chin checks. Because the last episode left off at Ashley's friend Deborah, the one who Candiace called Sesame Street, running up on Candiace for calling her Sesame Street all over the internet. And you can hear Kiana in the background trying to break stuff up. Now, I don't know where it went left, but she went from trying to break stuff up to breaking that girl ass down. Deborah must have swung on somebody. I don't know if it hit Kiana. I don't know if it just offended her, but she whooped that ass. Child, when I saw the footage of the fight, and I saw Kiana throwing them hammers, I said, yeah, this from round the way. She don't play that shit. Now, I ain't supposed to condone it. It ain't supposed to be all right, but I'm going to tell you, I understand. You don't go running up and all kind of people. Y'all don't know who people are or what people are dealing with when you come to them with your bullshit. Stay out of people's faces with your bullshit, because what you don't know is you think you about the shits, but your shits ain't got nothing on the shits they about. I'm gonna tell you from the bits and pieces of the conversation I heard with Deborah running up on Candiace about, yeah, you called me a muppet on the internet, say it to my face. Let me tell you something, that's enough to drive a well-adjusted person to the edge. Don't fuck with somebody on the borderline. But now that they have my interest, let me go catch up on last night's episode. Child, I just started this finale episode. That motherfucking Deborah hit the girl Kiana in the face with a glass. That's why she beat her ass like that. She deserved every hammer she threw. Ashley done brought her ratchet ass friends up there to start this bullshit with Candiace. Deborah is up there arguing with Candiace. Candiace is telling her, yeah, your ass look like Sesame Street. I don't talk to the help. Somebody come get the help out my face. Deborah mad she's being called the help. She picks up a drink, and as she's being escorted out, oh, I just threw the drink in Candiace's hair, and that lady threw her fist in your face. She got the nerve to be offended that I can't believe Wendy's friend, she punched me in the face. I mean, all I did was threw a drink in Candiace's hair. No, you threw a motherfucking glass, and the glass hit that lady in the face. You lucky didn't have to remove her foot from your ass. That girl was sitting in the bathroom, bleeding from her face. Oh my. Now, as this bullshit is going down, Ashley is trying to justify it with herself and her friends. First of all, she got some stupid ass friend that's telling her, well, that girl shouldn't have jumped in it. Shut your ass up. Deborah's raggedy ass shouldn't have thrown a glass. She need to stay her ratchet, no home training having ass home. But quite honestly, she matches Ashley's frequency. They are the same type of person. I totally understand why they're friends. They're classless and cosplaying as women who have class because they're somebody with some money. And Ashley's in the confessional talking about how Deborah really has been there for her and she's held her down and supported her so much. And, you know, when she thinks about bringing Deborah around, she doesn't have the Deborah and Candiace beef at the forefront of her mind. She figures that they're grown people and if they don't like each other, the club is huge. They can go to different sides. No, you are manipulative, conniving bitch, and you know exactly what you're doing. You invited that bitch to do your dirty work because you sit up here and smile to try to keep your job, and then you invite your little gutter friends to come do your dirty work. Stop inviting your ratchet ass friends to your job. If you worked a regular 9 to 5, if you knew you had a friend who you know likes to start and pick fights, would you invite them every time that your job had an outing? So they move on to go see the results of a photo shoot they did where they're all supposed to be these iconic black women from history. And Karen gets there, we see Ashley get there, and Ashley is saying between the ass whooping we saw and this event that they showed up to, Deborah got on the internet to double down on the bullshit that she did. And Ashley said, you know, it's one thing to have a lapse in judgment, but it's how you move forward after that. And it's the doubling down that I can't really get with. So I decided to put a pause on my friendship with Deborah. No, you done used her to do your dirty work. Now that the job is done and she on the internet talking shit, you're trying to distance yourself so that you don't get incriminated for the shit that you've done. I'm pretty sure what the game plan was is you come in here, I want you to confront her, and then you're going to act like you just lost it. You snapped, you couldn't take it. It was all of the emotional abuse and bullying that you endured online, and it just caused you to throw a drink on her. So you're going to go crazy, okay? And then she was supposed to go to the internet and cry, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. It wasn't supposed to happen like that. I didn't mean for that, but I just lost it. I couldn't take it after she bullied me online. But what y'all didn't count on was that girl whooping her ass. And now that she done got her whole ass whooped on TV, she can't get on the internet and cry and oh my God, I'm so sorry. Now she got to try to save whatever is left of her damn face. Now she on the internet, shame dumb and lying loud. Oh, she punched me in the face first. Bitch, they got camera footage to prove you's a damn lie. Shut up. So Giselle missed the fight night festivities because she left the party early to get back to her father because he was going into surgery for his brain cancer. Well, she is trying to get caught up on what's going on because she said Ashley called her screaming, crying, carrying on, but they've been fighting and there's blood everywhere. So now the principal is checking in and she's asking Ashley exactly what happened and why did it happen around our brand new brand. So amidst all this, Sharice done came limping in with a damn boot on her foot. So as Giselle is trying to find out what exactly happened, how and why, they asked Sharice, well, who whooped your ass? She said, well, y'all know I broke my foot back in the day, but I had to play top flight security in the world while they was tearing up these people's club, and so I had re-injured my foot. They said, well, how? What happened? Apparently, when the whole confrontation happened, Deborah runs up on Candiace. She said Candiace picked up a bottle and was getting ready to hit the girl with the damn bottle. So she trying to stop her from throwing a bottle. She said, I don't know what happened. So Giselle hairdresser, he there with her and he's like, well, why did Candiace pick up a bottle? She said that was Candiace's reaction from when the girl threw a drink at her first. So Giselle put Ashley in the hot seat and she asked her, how do you feel about this happening around our brand that we have spent so much time working on? Because it angers me. I'm mad by it. Well, Ashley goes into trying to defend her friend about, well, what Deborah told me is while she was at the party, she could overhear Candiace and Wendy talking about her. And so she decided to confront them. Girl, what? So when Deborah approached them and she's asking about it, she was being called the help and, you know, saying, say it to my face. And all of a sudden, everybody understands. And yeah, I understand. Say it to my face. And so, you know, when Deborah was saying, say it to my face, Candiace kind of put her hand up like that. And so Deborah threw a drink in Candiace's hair and then Kiana punched her in the face. Girl, just how are y'all up here justifying this bullshit? First of all, she didn't have to come to the party because you already know you got a problem with this lady. This is her job. This is her territory. So if she chooses to be at her job talking shit, which is what she gets paid to do, you can stay your ass home because you don't have to be here. And I don't want to hear the bullshit about, well, she had to come out and support her friend. That's bullshit. Because if she was really there to support her friend, she'd have been blind and deaf to the bullshit because I'm here to support my friend, not tear up her event. So now here comes Giselle hairdresser Cal about, well, if Candiace was talking about her and calling names and things, she should be prepared to deal with whatever comes after. All right, well, if we on that ratchet bullshit, then when she get to throwing drinks, she should be prepared to handle whatever ass come to her after, period. But I'm truly not surprised that he, of all people, is up here trying to justify this bullshit, because if you can justify them terrible ass wigs you used to put on Giselle, you'll justify anything. Now, fast forward, Candiace arrives at the party. Candiace's sister done confronted Ashley about, I'm not about to watch this happen to my sister again. And for some reason, the whole conversation becomes about Candiace picking up a champagne bottle after this girl threw a drink at her about, what were you going to do with that bottle? And you were going to end up in jail. And I don't know why she would pick up a bottle. I mean, because she's not gully like that. But I mean, it's not a good look. Excuse me, what? So this girl can show up to Candiace's job and provoke a confrontation. She can assault her with a drink. And if Candiace arms herself with a bottle for the purpose of her own self-defense, the problem is Candiace? So is drink throwing only acceptable if the drink is already poured into a glass? I don't understand. And that goes back to my point of leave people alone, because you don't know who you fucking with. You don't know what people are capable of, and you don't know what you're going to trigger in them. You don't go throwing at people and then, oh my God, she picked up something to throw back. Girl, where I'm from, they'll turn your ass every which way but loose. You don't go throwing attitudes at people all kind of way around this motherfucker. You threw a drink and you're shocked. So they decided, since all they doing throughout this party is having pockets of personal conversation about this whole brawl, that what they would do is have a round table discussion to go ahead and address the elephant in the room. So Karen invites all the ladies over. She starts by giving Ashley the floor. She said, we want to hear what you have to say about this whole thing, because these are your friends. So we're going to give you the floor. You're going to say your piece, and then we're going to say ours. So Ashley starts her bullshit by explaining that everyone involved in this incident were adults. So I don't feel like I should be taking ownership or responsibility for anybody's actions, not even my friends, because I don't need to. Don't like what happened. And to see what happened to Kay was really heartbreaking to me. I've grown to really like Kay, and I really care about Deborah as my friend. We don't give a fuck. And I don't know what really transpired before, because she said that you were talking about her. You were calling her vermin and rodent and the help. Candiace said no. Here's the thing, Gil Speech. Even if that were the case, why would your friend go blow up your event? Candiace said, no, I didn't speak directly to her. That means I might have been talking cash about her, but I ain't never said shit to the bitch, so she shouldn't have said shit to me. And let me tell you, see, because people will say, well, you don't know what it's like to be in this environment. That's people's favorite bullshit to say to me. Well, you don't know because you've never been in such and such. You don't know what situations I've been in. And I have been in situations where people done talk about me in my motherfucking face. And they did it to try to get me off my square, because they know I'm about that life and I will whoop their ass, but I have more self-control than that. And I refuse to relinquish my control of self to you. So my point is, even if Candiace sat there talking cash like we know Candiace does, Deborah had a responsibility to Deborah to maintain control of Deborah. I don't know what in the second grade hell mentality you have to see what she's talking about me, so I went over there and I jumped on her. When does it, okay, well listen, I hear you, I hear what you're saying, and I do agree that we shouldn't be held responsible for what our friends do, yeah, because we know they're trying to hold you responsible for your mama putting people's names on shrines and shit, but that's a whole nother story. She said, no, we should not be responsible for the things that our friends do, but when your friend Deborah ran up on Candiace. Candiace said at least 5 or 6 times, get her away from me. Wendy said me, Kay, and Nneka all came around the table trying to intervene, trying to stop this from happening, but clearly your friend came here with an agenda. And it was Ashley that gave her the agenda in her hand and the battery in her back. And she's in the confessional about what I can say in hindsight that I wouldn't have invited Deborah if I knew it was going to be this kind of animosity. What did you think it was going to be? You knew what this was going to be. And I know she knows because she goes on to say this is basically Candiace's fault. She brought this girl in to be pretend provoked to jump on Candiace. It's a repeat of the Monique bullshit. As soon as it rolls off her tongue that I wouldn't have invited her if I knew it was going to be this kind of animosity. But if what Deborah says is true, if Candiace was calling her vermin and rodent and the help, I mean, then Candiace, this is the second time. Girl, shut up. Perhaps she goes too far. She cuts people to the white meat. She just goes too low for some people. You know who Ashley is? Ashley is the kind who will participate in a murder for hire plot. I'm telling you, she's a dangerous type of person. Ashley is the kind of person who will do deep, dark, dangerous shit and then stand in everybody's face and look absolutely innocent about, and she's low-key obsessive. Part of her problem is she is obsessed with the beef that she has with Candiace, and she will go to any length to have Candiace served the way that she wants her. And Nneka's the kind of who will help like Ashley get off about, I don't think Ashley is to blame. I think Deborah was dead wrong for what she did. But how do you think Deborah got there? How did Deborah get in position to do this that she did? How did Deborah get emboldened to do this that she did? It's the private conversations with Ashley that led to this public action and reaction. Ashley is a mastermind of misfits and a duchess of dumb. And she got a bunch of dumb bitches like Deborah who are ready, willing, and able to report for duty. The one thing that Nneka said that did make sense is not only was Deborah wrong for throwing the drink, she was wrong for getting her ass up and going over there to Candiace and Wendy in the first place. Whatever you thought you heard, they were not talking to you. Karen called bullshit. Karen said, listen, I heard all that, but I can't agree with it. She said a level of trust within this group has been destroyed, and I feel like this sends a larger message to a bigger group of people who might want to come us up anytime they get ready. She said we can never allow ourselves to bring anyone into this circle knowing that they mean harm to somebody else in the circle. That's not okay. And Mia went on to further point out to Ashley that your girlfriend, who you could say it was a lapse in judgment, but after she went home and slept off the alcohol, she got her ass on the internet the next day and doubled down on that bullshit. She said some shit about, did you enjoy your ambulance ride? Punched me in the face first. No, ma'am. Girl, the way people will spin narratives and lie on the ass whoopings they got, why you would think you can go tell the internet whatever story you want the world to believe like this shit didn't happen in front of television cameras is beyond me. Maybe she knocked the good sense out you. So Ashley finally comes around and says, well, I do want to apologize for putting everyone in this position. I never imagined that this would happen and this would overshadow this great thing that Giselle and I had done. And she turns to Karen and says, so yes, I apologize to you. What? So your raggedy ass friend came to your party, blew shit up, threw a drink on one person, hit another person in the face with the drink, and you don't have no apologies for the motherfuckers that your friend assaulted. You have an apology, kind of, to Karen for calling you a girl. Get the fuck out my face. I don't care what nobody say. Ashley is soulless and morally bankrupt. Well, since they're at this round table, Giselle takes the opportunity to thank those who have reached out to her and been supportive of her while she's going through what she's going through with her father. Candiace, being true to her nature, is still off to the side talking shit. I guess y'all gonna justify it if Giselle jump on her too. But they decide to just go ahead and toast to the bullshit, toast to dysfunction, and move on with the rest of the damn event. Mia gets back to the festivities of the event, which is unveiling all these pictures that these women did for this iconic Black woman shoot. Now, shout out to the photographer, great job and all that. But the costuming, I don't know who was responsible for making them look like the icons they were supposed to look like, but they didn't do their job. Mia was supposed to be Pam Grier. Why y'all were playing our face with that bullshit from the very jump is beyond me. Pam Grier, but even they knew they couldn't pull that bullshit off. She don't look a damn bit like Pam Grier in that picture. She looked like Mia with one of Giselle old wigs on. Candiace supposed to be Diana Ross. She looked like a lady in a turban. Apparently they're using this to wrap up the season because they show us her end of season note, whatever the hell this is, about she's still working on music and plans to shop it to a major label. Party hard. Wendy was supposed to be Cheryl Lee Ralph. Cheryl Lee Ralph need to come snatch y'all for playing in her face. Why would y'all put that wig on Wendy and call her Cheryl Lee Ralph? Her end of season note is that she self-released her show, The Dr. Wendy Show, on YouTube, and hopefully this will be the venture that sticks. I just love it. Robin's supposed to be Mariah Carey. She looked like any other biracial woman in a wig. Just what is this? Her end of season note is that she finally signed the lease for that med spa she trying to open in place of Juan having a job, and she's hoping to open the doors this year. Good luck. Karen was supposed to be Lena Horne. Like, Lord. Now, Karen, I'm going to give Karen this. Karen was given sexy in the 60s, but that wasn't Lena. As a matter of fact, the picture that they used for her, now, granted, it ain't Lena Horne, and it ain't quite Pam Grier, but it's closer to Pam Grier than that bullshit Mia pulled off. Her end of season note is that she getting ready to open that bed and breakfast that used to be her grandparents' house, and she treated herself to some new cosmetic tweaks for her 60th birthday, but that ain't news because Karen been doing that. What I do want Karen to stop is whatever the hell she is doing to her mouth. Whatever, I don't know if it's injections, I don't know what the hell Karen got going on around her mouth that got her with all them damn involuntary movements. Stop. Giselle was supposed to be Beyonce. Just all light-skinned women don't look alike. This some bullshit. Giselle up there dressed like Rhythm Nation in a bleach blonde wig. Just, my God. Once again, Giselle's a beautiful woman, but I know Beyonce somewhere mad than a motherfucker. Why would you get on TV about you me with that goddamn diaper on and that big haystack of a wig? Now, I done said all that and I feel bad because of her end of season note. Her end of season note was that her clothing line finally launched, but her dad passed away shortly after his surgery. That makes me so sad for Giselle. I'm so sorry. I don't know. I kind of thought I had heard her dad pass, but I wasn't sure. But oh my God, that's so heartbreaking. But something I'm also kind of a believer of, I'm becoming a firm believer of, especially in looking back on my uncle's life and losing my uncle and kind of being the person that was taking him to all of his appointments. I feel like sometimes the illness is set up to prepare us for the transition. You know, there's nothing that makes you feel better about it. There's nothing that actually comforts you. But I hope that she is able to find some comfort in the fact that at least, yeah, it was terrible that her father was diagnosed with cancer, but maybe that diagnosis is what rang the alarm to make sure that she was there as much as she could be in his last days. Now, y'all know I dragged Giselle from here to hell, but my prayers are with her. That's really sad. Now, Nneka didn't participate in the shooting. She barely participated in the show, but they showed us her end of season note too, which is that the intrauterine, the whatever, the IUI, the whatever, insemination. Is it intrauterine insemination? Is that what IUI is? I don't know. Anyway, the insemination process that they were trying to conceive a baby was unsuccessful. So their next step is to go from IUI to IVF. I didn't know it was all these ABCs and having a baby, but that's their next step. Ashley was supposed to be Dorothy Dandridge. Ashley looked like something off a Party City clearance rack. Just putting a costume here. Y'all, her end of season note is that Ashley is actively dating, but she and Michael are still not divorced. And her deadline for signing her divorce papers by the end of the year has come and gone. Yeah, and it's going to keep coming and going because they ain't getting divorced. It's an open marriage. And they wrap the event up with Gordon coming up to sing Mia's praises about how he's so proud of her and their relationship is so awesome and she's this great mother and wife. Not for long. Of course, production fast forwarded 3 months and the headlines were all about Mia and Gordon ending their marriage. Yeah, because that money done come to an end. So Wendy and Eddie are in the confessional and Eddie said the last conversation that he had with Gordon was Gordon reached out to the guys group chat and was like, hey, I'm trying to get in touch with y'all and y'all's wives because I want to talk about some stuff that Mia is running around here doing. And he was like, what you mean? And he said Gordon described Mia doing things that weren't putting the children first. He said after that group text, next thing we know, the internet is in the group chat because it's all over the damn web. So production asked Mia, when did you and Gordon officially become separated? She said, well, back in July, and nobody knew. Of course, he's hurt and he doesn't want me to divorce him, but maybe if he didn't go to TMZ, we don't know how that would have turned out. Mia said what set it off was the trailer for this season of Real Housewives of Potomac, because there was an exchange between she and Ashley where she said that she thought that Ashley was a gold digger that might have married Michael for his money. And Ashley asked Mia, well, did you marry Gordon for his money? Mia said, I might have. She said Gordon didn't like that. He didn't like that at all. And so maybe that's what caused him to go to TMZ and say that she was a gold digger and had been having an affair. I just, Lord, my God. So we back at the house and they're having a discussion about when he getting out. Mia says, so I'm trying to figure out how long I'm going to have to sleep in the kids' room. I mean, are you planning on heading back to Charlotte? Like, please get from around me. He said, well, I plan on going back around the 8th, 9th, 10th of November. I mean, unless that's not soon enough for you. I mean, because the only reason I'm here is you asked me to be here to watch the kids because you got all kind of functions to go to. He said, I mean, if you got coverage for the kids, I can go back. It's up to you. She said, well, let's talk about a long-term plan, because on a long-term basis, I don't want to have to sleep in the kids' room. He said, well, you asked for this, and I don't think you thought this all the way through. I don't think you considered all of the unintended consequences of your decision. Then he said out of nowhere, I know you've been having an affair for over 10 years now. Child, what? He said, I knew you had an affair just before we got married. Mia quiet as a damn church mouse. I just, Lord. Next thing I know, they arguing. Gordon asking her, you tell me how it looks for a married woman to go move in and live with a single man in a 5-bedroom house. She said, but I wasn't living with him. He said, bullshit. The kids told me you were living with the man. She said, because he was working all the time, so he wasn't even there. He had to work in 17 different cities. He said, you a motherfucking lie, because the kids told me we saw mama sleeping with Mr. Ink. I got that. Well, Mia got quiet and production got nosy. They finally doing their damn job. So they asked her, well, you want to tell us something about you and Mr. So-and-so? I don't know what name they called him, but they bleeped it out. And she said, well, first of all, he don't like being called such and such. His name is Ink. And all he ever said is don't mess up his brand. And here you go. Child, and she's so deep, she done gave the people pictures of her and the man together. And they so messy, they got Mia's new / former partner, because she claims, you know Mia be lying, so that's just the story she told. She claims that this man is some man she knew from way back in the day. They were high school sweethearts and somehow they've come back together. You so foolish. She said Gordon was aware that she was sleeping with the man when they first got married. They went to counseling and everything. This is a demonstration in dysfunction. Well, Gordon goes on to explain that when he was going through prostate cancer and certain organs weren't working, he told Mia that if she met somebody that she wanted to spend time with, he would understand that. He only has 2 rules. Those 2 rules are that she should, 1, be discreet, and 2, never involve the children. He said you broke both of those rules. Well, Gordon said she was coming in the house all hours of the night. He said you coming in 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm checking the phone bill. You and this man talking all day and night. You talking from the time you leave wherever till 2 minutes before you pull up in the house and come in the garage. He said you got my kids around the man. He said, don't you know our child came to me and asked me, Dad, why is mommy trying to replace you with Mr. Ink? Mia's so motherfucking cold. Mia said, well, Gordon, if you gave me your blessing, I don't understand what the problem is. What? He said, because you were throwing it in my face and you took my kids around him. So production asked Mia, when did you and this old lover from high school rekindle things? She said, maybe April. It was around the time that Gordon was going through all that depression and shit. Mia said, for better or worse, in sickness and in health is not my judge. That ain't how I get down. So now Gordon letting us see all his crazy. This man said, yeah, you were on the phone with you-know-who, so I took your phone for 2 hours and you ran off to Atlanta with the nigga. Mia said, yeah, because you took my damn phone and locked me in a room. This motherfucker said, yeah, I told you get some rest. You could have it back in 2 hours. She said, but Gordon, you ain't my damn daddy. I know that's right. You might be my sugar daddy, my big daddy, my baby daddy, but you ain't my damn daddy. Now Gordon don't want to talk no more. He said, let me finish. She said, no, who does that? You know what? I'm done. He get up, he goes stomping out the room. He don't want to talk to her no more. So production decide, well, you ain't got to talk to her. Talk to me. The producer asked, well, if y'all were in an open marriage, did your open relationship not include her being able to have a relationship with Ink? He said, no, not him, because he been trying to break up our marriage. And she been telling me, like, that's her safe space, and that's who she goes to feel safe, and that's her soulmate. She been saying shit like that. Now she trying to play dumb in front of y'all. So now Mia is trying to have a conversation about the future. Well, can we hash out the future and how we're going to move forward? He said, no, not till we address some of these unresolved issues. This man came out his face with, why did so-and-so think Jeremiah was his child? What? What in swingers hell do y'all have going on? Not paternity issues. Mia said, Gordon, that's not fair. That's not fair. Gordon said, you want fair? Go to a carnival. Damn. Gordon tell the lady to stop lying, so she got in the confessional and stopped lying. She said what had happened was, way back when she got pregnant with the child Jeremiah, she told Gordon straight up, hey, this is the timeline of events. This may or may not be your child. She said his response was, whatever it is, I'm going to raise this child like he's mine. So production asked and no paternity test was ever requested. She said, not that I know of. Wait a fucking. This is why I don't review this in real time. I try to watch it, marinate, and then come tell y'all what I think. This is why I don't watch and review it the same, because I'm in shock. What? So you mean to tell me y'all running around right now in the midst of all this drama and dysfunction, not knowing who this child daddy is? They cut back to the argument, and Gordon is telling Mia that what he thinks happened is she got on this show and she started making a lot of money from the show. And at the same time that she started making a lot of money from the show, he lost access to his capital. He said, I feel like you thought now was a good time to leave him. Well, Mia said, that's some bullshit, and you gonna stop saying that, because the truth is, I'm the one transferring money to you to make sure you can eat well. He said, congratulations. She said, but I'm such a gold digger, right? And I married you for your money, even though you're asking me for money. Now, let's talk through this, because just because you're in the position of having money now and he does not have money, it does not mean that at the time that y'all got married, you didn't marry him for money. Because the marriage was an avenue to get to the money that you got right now. Now, having said all that, Gordon got what his money paid for. You cannot expect loyalty from somebody who you got doing disloyal shit. Mia told Gordon that she really needs him to accept that a major issue for her is the fact that he is knee-deep in a legal battle with his siblings. She said, I don't agree with you suing your family. I've asked you to let it go and you refuse. She said, I'm not backing down on it either. Not only because it's your family, but also because you're not taking accountability for the part that you played that got us here. She says in the confessional that if she was going to leave her marriage for financial reasons, she would have left 7 or 8 years ago, when he was spending excessive amounts of money at strip clubs and coming home all hours of the night. So doing exactly what he was doing when he met you. Here's the thing. I don't feel bad for either one of them. Neither of them are victims. The only victims of their bullshit is their children. But Mia deserves exactly what she's getting, and so does Gordon. She was proud to tell the world how she screwed somebody's husband on a beach and took that man right out of his wife's house. Well, bitch, now you got to put up with the bullshit. So in the middle of this whole argument, Gordon comes out of nowhere about, I'm perfectly willing to set this all aside and move forward for the kids. Mia said, and remain in a marriage with you? Is that what you're trying to say? This uncle said, I mean, you can frame it however you'd like. Basically, just don't leave me to die alone. Mia said, well, I don't know about that, because all I can think about right now is how much of a loose cannon you are. Sir, you done lost your woman. She gone. She said, I just need time to let things, die down. This man said, well, stop seeing so-and-so then. She said, I don't get why you're bringing him up. He said, because you're screwing him. He said, you just told me 2 days ago you were screwing the man. Pick a story and stick with it. Now that I agree with, because Mia will just pick up a new story every damn day. This girl got the nerve to be in the confessional about, the life that I'm living is not the life that God intended for me. I'm gonna just follow my heart and whatever happens, happens. Girl, didn't you follow your heart to hell this time? She's in the confessional saying how this man that she's screwing has been such a good friend and he's been supportive of her decisions in life. He told her 10 years ago he would always be here, and he's held true to that. He's never asked anyone to marry him. So if now is the time, then now is the time. The fuck? Basically, I done used you up and I'm going on to somebody who got a fresh bag of money. And the episode ends with Mia explaining that she just needs a break from him because she's not the best version of herself around him, because she finds herself constantly having to navigate the hostility. Now, Gordon done changed this whole tune. Now, 5 minutes ago, it was, I'm willing to set this all aside, pretend you ain't never touched that man ain't never touched you on the inside part. Now he said, you know, you already served me with the separation papers. We're not living together. I made up in my mind a long time ago that if a woman ever tells me she doesn't want me, she doesn't want to be here, let her go. So if that's what you want to do, bye. Not hit the rope, Jack. Child, that brings us to the end of the season and right into this reunion that looks like it's going to be an epic disaster. Oh my God. But child, that's it. That's all. And I ain't got no more. My edges are standing up and all. Thank you so much for coming down here, listening to me and letting me get this off my chest. Please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you have not already. But in the meantime, until next time, just like every time, you know I love you and I mean it. Bye.